Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you are in the world. So, guys, tonight we are going to go through 3 through 5. So, I started this series with giving you the 5 objections you typically deal with when prospecting or in sales. And last week we covered number 1 and number 2, which was um, skepticism and complacency. So tonight we're going to go through number 3 and through 5, 3, 4, and 5, and give you some tips on how to overcome them. So before we get started, guys, as always, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everyone taking the time to listen to me. I hope it brings you some value. I hope it provides you some tips to move forward in your business and make some money, right? So as you're jumping on, guys, make sure you drop down in the comments where you're coming in from so I can give you a shout out. If you are watching this on the replay, make sure you give me a hashtag replay down in the comments so I can come back in and give you a shout out. I definitely appreciate everyone, even if you can't get in when I'm live. So, I think that's it, guys. So without further ado, I got my notes over here. So let's get into it. So like I said, guys, last week we talked about skepticism and complacency, right? So tonight, the first objection that we're going to talk about is competition. Now, you may think that's a bad thing, right? But I'm going to explain to you why it's not, right? So we have to understand that everybody has competition, guys. Even, I mean, if we're talking about NASA, right, and SpaceX, if we are talking about Chrysler and Chevy, if we are talking about Coke and Pepsi, right, the competition is good, right, because competition brings the best out of us, right. It makes us go above and beyond our comfort zone. So don't look at competition as a bad thing. Look at competition as a way to drive you to get better at your craft, whatever it is you're doing. Okay. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips to help with that. So, the best way to deal with competition, guys, is to focus on your advantages. Okay. And they're not my ideas, so I don't want to take credit for them. But there's an excellent framework that is Porter's competitive strategy matrix. And this will give you 3 ways to kind of identify. And this is where you're going to have to play with your strengths, test the waters in a few different areas, and see what works best for you. But the number one way is to differentiate yourself. Okay, and you want to differentiate yourself from your competition, and the best way to do that is to identify to your prospects why you're better, why you're different, and why you're unique. Okay, so by helping your prospect understand why you're just a better choice, you're a unique choice. That's going to help them make the decision in the buying or joining process. Okay, guys, this is the exact same way. Take this into perspective, right? This is the exact same thing that Apple did when they carved a nice little piece out of the PC world. Okay, they made themselves very unique and they illustrated why they were better. Okay, regardless of personal opinion, Apple has definitely done that for themselves. Number 2 is cost leadership. Okay, and the advantage on this piece to try and help your prospects understand, right, is by showing your advantage is having the lowest price product. And a way you can think about this is think about Walmart and Sam's Club. Okay. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily my favorite, but that's one method to use to help with the competition. And the last, number 3, is focus, guys. And I talk about focus all the time, but this is in a different context. Okay, so while your while your product or your services or your business, it may not be the cheapest, or your product may not be the cheapest, you want to illustrate why why it's different, why it's unique, and how it's going to help them moving forward in their lives, whatever they're doing. If they're trying to start a business, if they already have a business, if they're trying to lose weight, whatever it is that they're doing. Okay. By focusing, they titled it Focus. So that will help set you apart. And I did a video on your unique selling proposition and what makes you unique. You can go back and check that out in previous videos. All right. So number one is differentiate yourself. All right. That's a tough word to say. And number two is cost leadership. And then number three is focus. And this goes back to kind of what I was talking about before in the previous videos, guys, is understanding your prospects, what their hesitations are, what their obstacles are, what their objections are. Okay. And when you can take whichever one of those three fit best to you, your model, your personality, and you can help them understand and get to the core of what the objection is, then that will help move forward in the sale or getting them to join, join your team or whatever the case may be. All right. And this is also, guys, before I move on to the next one, this will also help you understand their level of market awareness too. And I did a video way back. So go back, deep in the files for that one. But, understanding their market, their level of market awareness helps you understand how educated they are. And then that, again, helps you to meet them where they are in the process that they're going through in their journey. Okay. So, while that's a lot of information, and one thing that you want to make sure is you don't run into the next objective. Number 4, guys, is overwhelmed. A lot of times, as we're excited about what we're doing. We believe we have the best way. We believe there's no other, and everything about your business. All the ins and outs of the products. The ingredients, the compensation plan for your network marketing business, whatever it is. And what happens a lot of times, guys, is we just provide too much information. Okay, so you want to make sure that you break it down when you're talking to your prospects. Make sure that you're breaking it down into bite-sized nuggets, if you will, so that way they can consume the information that you're providing them. And then also they'll be able to digest it and make a educated decision based off of the information that you gave them. And guys, what you have to understand is it just may not be right for them. All right, so don't take it personal if they say no. That might be the way it is, and they just may not be in that part of their journey yet. So as we're moving through overwhelm. Like I said, customers often they get too much information to make a decision. All right. So when that happens, and this is just a way to kind of identify if this is the objection you're dealing with, is you'll hear things like, I don't have time. I've already tried, another product and it didn't work for me. Or I don't even, I don't have enough time to even think, it's going back to having time. I don't even want to think about trying to learn something new right now. And I don't even know if this product is right for me. So when you hear those things, guys, that's kind of their way of just shutting down. And, that lets you know, okay, maybe they've had too much information. Now, the way to combat that is by, like I said, breaking it down into bite-sized nuggets, and you let them know, okay, well, with, X, Y, and Z product, this will help save you time with your ABC events, whatever they're doing. So, by utilizing my gen system, my lead generating system, this will help you save time in other aspects of your business. Okay. Another way is, or another way to kind of deal with that is, here's how you'll free up X, Y, and Z with 1, 2, 3. Okay. So these are just some ways that you can kind of identify and combat that, that specific objection. Okay. Now, when you do this, when you lay it out, okay, with this product will save you time in this area, right? You kind of give them a step-by-step play on how your product or services will benefit them in the long run. Okay, so it kind of puts them at ease because it helps them see, all right, well, that would make sense if I had more time for this or that. All right, does that make sense? All right, thank you, guys. And then moving on to number 5, guys, and this is what I feel like the majority of the obstacles are. And this obstacle or objection will often show up side by side with some of the others, guys, and it's simply fear. Okay. A lot of times your prospect is not educated on what it is that you're trying to provide them. They're not educated on the opportunity that they have with you. They're not educated on the products or how it works. If you're in beauty and fashion, or if you're in health and wellness, whatever the case is. So, one of the things about fear, the objection of fear, guys, is a lot of people, they just won't admit it. Okay. Again, they just shut down. They start providing excuses, and you have to, and I talk about it all the time, guys, make sure that you're building, know, like, and trust. The biggest piece of that is the trust with your prospect. Help them to understand that you're there to trying to genuinely provide them a better way, a better method, a better product, whatever the case may be. All right. And what I want you to understand about this, guys, is, you can learn all the tricks of the trade. You can be the best, salesman. You can have the best sales pitch. But you can't overcome fear with jujitsu mind tricks and psychological thrillers. Okay. Like, that's just not going to work when you're dealing with fear. You have to get to the core of that fear, figure out what it is that is causing that, and you have to be able to overcome that through time. That's the biggest thing I want you guys to understand when it comes to dealing with fear, guys, is this: it doesn't have to happen overnight. You want to build a relationship. That's the key to overcoming fear. All right, build a relationship with your prospects. Let them know that you are there to genuinely provide them a better way, a better service. And I know I keep saying that over and over, but that's really what we are. That's our job as entrepreneurs when you're building your business. And remember, the solution isn't being pushy. Okay, so if you're dealing with these objections, you have to figure out what it is, right? You have to get to the bottom of it, and you have to address it. The only way that you're going to get over it and overcome it and put it away, put it to bed, is by addressing it. And at the end of the day, it just may not be right for them. All right. So you don't want to be pushy, guys. That's just going to, it's going to lead to, buyer's remorse. It's going to lead to bad reputation, unsatisfied customers, unhappy team members. So, don't be pushy. And guys, I'll be honest with you. I've been, falling victim to that, being pushy, just seeing that I had a great opportunity and just pushing it. You got to meet them where they are. And when you take a step back and you realize that, yes, you do have a better way, not taking that away from you. But when you realize that they're not there yet and you meet them where they are long term, right? Because a business, this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Long term, they're going to come back to you. They're going to remember, you being humble and being honest and upfront with them. And if they get to that point where they're ready to move forward with you guys, they're going to come back to you. All right. They're going to come back to you, and then you can move forward with a prosperous relationship, regardless if they're joining your team or they're just a repeat customer, whatever the situation is. All right. So, guys, that's it. We covered. All right. I'm just going to run back a quick recap, all 5 of them. We covered skepticism. All right. We covered complacency. We covered competition. We covered overwhelm. And then the last one's fear. So, guys, if you found this valuable, make sure you drop me a hashtag value down in the comments. If you have anything specific that you're dealing with that you would like to discuss or you'd like for me to cover, drop it down in the comments as well. If you want to sit down and you just want to rap back and forth one-on-one with me in the comments, drop the hit the link down in there. All right. And schedule. It's a free, no BS consultation, guys. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just going to talk to you about where you are in your business, how I can help you. And guys, the reality is I might not be able to help you at all, but I got a lot of great ideas. I got, a lot of experience dealing with prospecting in sales. So if there's anything I can do, I'm more than willing, more than happy to sit down with you for 30 minutes, go over some stuff and see what we can do to get you moving forward. Guys, lastly, before I go, if this is the first time of us meeting or you've been here before and you haven't done it yet, make sure you hit your notifications on Facebook so that way you know when I go live. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe, like, and the little bell so that way you get notified when I go live. I try to do this structured deal, but a lot of times I'll jump on the spur of the moment too. So make sure you get all the nuggets. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everything. We'll talk soon. Until then, take care, be safe, live life, and remember, we create our own freedom. Bye for now.